I'm sorry.
On the count of 3, join us at the
Planner.
Planners.
See, we were in sync. That's because we're married, but
Let's
one
try
more
it
time.
again.
One more time.
Welcome back to another episode of the Planner Suite. And as you can see, today we have a special guest.
We do.
Yes. I am Natan McKenzie, owner of M Capital, a financial planning firm, and here to talk about budgeting, apparently,
Yes.
and weddings, which it's like water and oil sometimes. So
Wait. Hold on. Yes, he is here. He's from M Capital, but Natan is also my husband. I think you forgot that. Like, that was the first part.
Oh, wow.
That was the first thing.
They were supposed to wait for the big reveal
This
at the
is
end of the
my
show.
my man.
All right. Well, I'm her husband, and I'm here to talk about money.
Yeah, but we are going to be talking about just wedding budgets. As you guys know, we have the segment called "What's the Budget," and we had a lot of people, interact with us about what's the budget. They were like, "We're so happy we found you," and we had some people send in some numbers to us, so we want to talk about that today.
Oh, great.
Yes. So someone emailed us and they had a $60K budget in Richmond, Virginia with 100 guests. So we really want to break that down. And as we're breaking it down, we really want to talk about why it's important to have a budget. Maybe have you ever worked with someone who had to budget for a wedding?
Absolutely.
And I know you and Amy recently got married, so I want to hear about like the budgeting process you all went through.
Well, I'll speak with this on 2 hats. First, professionally, and then as a previous groom. Sidebar, shout out to all the grooms out there. No one ever gives us love. I just want to give you guys a quick little flowers. The show would not be able to happen without you guys. So, fellas.
That is true.
That
That is true. That is true.
Just take a moment of silence for all the grooms.
This one's for the grooms. All right, that's enough for the grooms.
Wow.
That's enough.
Wow, that's really
enough.
all the
That's
time they
enough.
really give y'all, right? So let's talk about it. On a budgeting standpoint, it's really hard to budget initially, but it's very, very much pivotal that you do so. Reasons why, I'm pretty sure you've already heard through the Planner Suite why it's very difficult, especially with inflation, prices changing, depending on when you actually book your vendors and et cetera. What you want to have is an actual number in mind that you don't want to go over, right? Now, once again, this is professionally speaking, Natan. You have that number that you don't want to go over so you can properly plan and budget. Like this potential bride had sent in $60K. This is what we're looking at not going over. What can we do with this particular budget? It's a great approach. Now, as a previous groom, what tends to happen is somebody tends to say that, hey, we only are getting married once, you got to do it big and et cetera, I want this or I want that. And so you just throw the budget out the window, right?
Please don't lie up here.
You get 100. We only get married onwas.
Yeah.
Hold
You
on, please don't lie up here.
Okay, I won't lie.
Don't lie up here.
Amy was
Cut the tape.
was very adamant
Show is
about
over.
certain vendors being part of our celebration. And as a result of which we had to adjust our budget to accommodate certain vendors, which we're very thankful to have because it was very much a wonderful experience. They did a fantastic job, very professional, worth every penny, as has been said. But at the same time, for you and your wedding and what you and your spouse may be planning, it's important that you both come in agreement about A, what that overall maximum is. B, where is there some leeway? What are the non-negotiables? Constantly things that the planners here at AC Events have been sharing with you, because that's really going to dictate the direction of the overall planning process. And there's going to be some point during your wedding planning process that we recently talked about where you're going to have to settle, right? Because you don't want to put yourself in financial ruin for a celebration, right? That's supposed to be about your love, but really it's supposed to be about the foundation and beginning of your life, right? And so do you want to start that in debt, or do you want to start that with a pile of resources to support? And sometimes when it comes to the emotional things, the checkbook really doesn't matter.
But I think you brought up a really great point, is like, where is there wiggle room? Because we meet with a lot of couples who are like I cannot go over this budget. But you're like, what what are your non-negotiables? Like what would make you go over this budget? So we want to make sure like couples aren't feeling shame if they go over budget and things like that. So I really thank you for like highlighting that and like bringing that to the forefront, like having that buffer and even admitting that y'all went over budget. Because that's something a lot of people don't want to admit.
Yeah.
There was no
Yeah.
budget.
No, there was a budget. It just kind of went away
Was there?
after the week it was created, more or less.
Okay.
So we really want to jump into our listener who wrote in about the 60K wedding in Richmond, Virginia with 100 guests.
Yeah.
And so we know Kendrick said there is no big three, but here at the Planner Suite, we do have 3 big vendors
Yes,
that we
3
like to
big
highlight.
vendors. And just a disclaimer, this is what we think is the big 3,
Right.
and we are not quoting or telling you any vendor names or et cetera, because everyone's prices are different.
Exactly, because they're not like us.
Oh, bars. Bars.
Drops mic.
Bars.
Drops mic.
Who are these big 3? Then? Who are these big 3?
So, first thing is your venue. I feel like venue is the top. I think if you have a 60K budget, you should expect, if your venue has catering included and your bar including, so you're getting a building, you're getting food for your guests, and you're getting your bar service, you should expect to take at least $20,000 to $25,000 of your budget. Did she give us a guest count?
100 people.
100. Yeah, I think you can. It costs a lot to feed people, have the full service staff, have your venue, and then also if you're doing an open bar, you could expect to be at least $20,000 to $25,000. I mean, we're
I
not
feel like
serving.
that's a good number.
Yeah, we're not serving caviar, but you're serving pretty salmon. Salmon, maybe some filet mignon.
Chicken or something.
Yeah. And then the next one I would say is your planner. Your planner, and typically your planner is at least just 10% of your budget. Like,
So if it's 60K, it should be 6.
yeah,
6K.
6,000. Like at least $6,000 of your budget is going to go to your planner. And planners range differently. Not all do budget based. Some do just flat rates for their packages. But if we're looking at a budget base, you should at least 10% should be going to your planner.
Okay.
And Whitney, what do you think the last one is? Wait. Let's ask Natan. What do you think the last one is?
For me, I would say decor, because I feel like that's always been a large financial ticket item. However, as far as priority, I would change your order and put planner first, venue second, and then non-negotiables third. Because I'm thinking this more on a budgeting standpoint and where folks are driven emotionally here. Your planner will help you navigate that negotiation between the venue, right? If you go and choose a venue, you might be, out of luck because now you're stuck with a venue that's not providing you catering, that's not providing you the core elements, right? And now you have to offset those costs in other areas. Whereas if you get a planner primarily, or at least first, then they can at least give you some direction and guidance as to, okay, these venues make sense, right? And or these vendors make sense, or at least we've worked with these before, so we can at least provide you with some guidance as far as what their packages might be, hopefully be able to negotiate a couple things. So it's always beneficial to have a professional support you in any financial endeavor that you're going through, and especially when it comes to weddings, because that's why I put number 3, non-negotiables, because that doesn't matter what the price is. If that's a non-negotiable, that's a non-negotiable, right? So that might jump your budget from 60K to 75 just because you want to have, R2-D2, because you guys are really big Star Wars fans at your wedding, and the price tag is the price tag.
That was the only thing you could come up with.
Don't hate on Star Wars. Okay?
I'm just.
You want to talk about Harry Potter? Huh?
No,
That's what you want?
I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. You could have said like a Burna Boy coming to perform. You could have said.
Because a lot of things. Because a lot of things.
You could have. You could have.
But Star Wars is where it's at. May the Force be with you. Anyways, what's your big 3?
He's so wet.
So here at the Planner Suite, our big 3, whenever we do what's the budget, it will always be venue, planner, and then photographer. So we said 20 to 25K on venue. That includes food, drinks, chairs, tables, linens.
Yeah, typically that venue should be giving you in that amount should at least at bare minimum be giving you tables, chairs, and like a base linen. So you don't have to rent that, because I think that's underestimated. Like a lot of people get they get blind by like a venue price, and a lot of venues are between $5,000 and $10,000, and they're like, well, I can just get the building for $5,000. But do you know how much a chair is?
Yeah.
Like chairs are $7 a piece. Do you know how much tables? Actually, linens. Like I don't think
Oh,
people
yeah.
notice linens are $30 a piece. Like people are spending at least $1,500 to $2,000 just to put a cloth over a table, and it's important because those tables is ugly. Yeah.
And on that, I will say there is a venue in Richmond that is the bane of our existence that will remain unnamed. And people book it all the time because it's a beautiful space, but they don't give anything.
They don't give a thing. They do
But
not
we said
give
we'll
a
leave it
thing.
unnamed.
Yeah.
But we said 20 to 25K on a venue. We said 6K on a planner. And then a photographer with a 60K budget. How much do you think someone should be spending? About 6K? 6K as well?
It depends where you are. I'm gonna
Well,
say.
she said Richmond.
Oh, she's in Richmond.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think 6K on a photographer is fair, and I think all of these rates are starting. If you want the
Yes.
creme de la creme, you want literally 12 plus hours of footage. You want a photo album. You want all raw. All edits. It's gonna cost you more, but
Yeah.
I think that in the Richmond area, you're gonna be able to find the big three within that
Right.
price point.
Right. So that is how we would support abroad with the 60K budget. So we talked about the big three here at the Planner Suite. We talked about how the venue should be 25K, the photographer should be around 6K, the planner should be around 6K, and that leaves us around half the budget. Now you all know here when we do what's the budget, we don't do the full breakdown of your budget, but we do have an expert here. So we do want to break it down a little bit more while we have someone here who has the knowledge, the background, the expertise to do
Personal
it.
experience as well.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: the remaining,
PTSD.
and that's another episode. The
Wow.
remaining 23,000 really is for your discretion, right? You're going to need to pay your for your invitations, your wedding attire. You're going to need to pay for your licensing fees. You need to pay for your transportation. You need to pay, depending on what the venue is giving and not giving, that also may be a factor too. And also that the core element plays a factor. So those intimate details is what's going to make or break that 23,000 that's left over in that budget. That's why, in my personal opinion, it's so pivotal to have a planner to guide you through those things, because then you're not nitpicking and figure out, oh, what's the cost for this? And you're trying to price match napkins and linens, right? When really the price is the price, unfortunately, sometimes. So just to save you the headache, work with somebody that can help walk you through the process and familiarize yourself with what is going on within the wedding industry in today's time. Because for a lot of folks, the last time they went to a wedding was maybe a parent's, a loved one, which may have been 5-10 years down the road, where they're not doing the elaborate, big weddings and spending $30,000 on flowers, right? And so it's different. And so I would encourage you to do the research, figure out somebody that works well with your personality, and also is budget conscious, right? Because it is your dollar. It is an investment in your future lives with you and your spouse. But however, you don't, as I mentioned before, want to put yourself in debt leading into your marriage.
And just a quick question for you. Do you offer services where you can help couples budget for a wedding? Is that something that you offer? Can they reach out to you, say, hey, I have an $80,000 budget, and then you can give them, talk about a financial plan that may work with their finances they have so far?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We actually have an ongoing webinar entitled Money in Marriage, where not only do we discuss the financial pieces of marriage, but also the intimate conversations about budgeting, not only for the wedding, but for lifestyle choices, retirement, college savings for children, et cetera, and where sometimes those conversations tend to clash. Because believe it or not, there are different financial behaviors that we all share because of our previous experiences, because of our background, socioeconomic levels, et cetera. But as far as just getting you from point A to point B, being I'm engaged to I do, we do help couples develop a budget to do so. It is comprehensive. It does take into consideration what I talked about before as far as your non-negotiables about the high ticket items that are not only within the industry, but also probably on your wish list. And, eventually the time to, I hate to use the word settle, but really compromise to make sure that you're not breaking the bank and really being able to make the wedding of your dreams happen, right? And also the marriage of your dreams take place.
So, Natan, go ahead and tell the listeners, the subscribers, the viewers, how they can get in contact with you to get these services, to make sure they're not going over budget, make sure they're not ending up broke, for a special day. How can they get in contact with you?
Absolutely. We don't want to make sure you guys don't end up broke. And I will say this is for another conversation, but for those who are attending a wedding, please make a financial contribution to the couple. Gifts are great, but we know what today's economic times are, and it's really helpful to start a marriage with a cushion, right? So you're not bickering over the little bills and things of that nature. So shameless plug about that. But if you'd like to reach out to me, once again, my name is Natan McKenzie. You can reach me at mcapitalteam.com. Once again, that's M as in Mackenzie, capitalteam.com, or you can reach me via email at Natan@mcapitalteam.com. And I'll be sure to respond to you within 24 hours and set a consultation up to walk you through what you might be going on. So, but yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all today and hopefully shared some good knowledge. And my wife is still going to keep being my wife, so I don't have to worry about that. But it was certainly a pleasure. So thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for joining us here in the Planner Suite for our ongoing series, What's the Budget? You all already know what to do every episode of What's the Budget. Be sure to DM us a budget, a guest count, location, and we will do exactly what we just did, walking through that budget, kind of giving you estimates for those big three that we love to talk about. And in the meantime, subscribe, DM us, reach out to Natan, and join us here the next time right here
At the Planner
Suite.
Wait, why did you say it?
I don't know. I felt like I was supposed to do. Was I not supposed to do that?
Natan's part of the Planner Suite too. So.